Hey, this is Seth with In Demand Career. I show people how to get jobs in digital marketing with no previous experience or education. So it's fitting that this video is called How to Get a Job with No Experience. Now, what I wanted to do is I wanted to give you a specific step-by-step example of one of my students following my instructions and getting a digital marketing job with no experience. In this case, it is Tiffany King, and she just wrote to me last week, and I meant to post it last week, but I got very busy, and I thought, well, I'll make a more in-depth video instead. So she is now working at NetSource Technologies in Tampa, Florida. And I'm going to walk you through her entire experience and show you how to get a job with no experience. The first thing I do have to say about this is that the idea of no experience is a complete misnomer. Like I say in my free mini course, which you should check out, by the way, click the link below, Digital Career Blueprint. The whole point of this is to create experience. There's very few jobs in existence that you could just walk in day one and be like, I don't know anything about anything but pay me. And because I'm so good looking, that's not how it works. You have to offer some value to the company. And when it says no experience, of course, it means you don't have a year or 2 or 3 years of experience in the field. But what I teach my students to do is to generate that experience. And these are the emails that she sent me. Before I jump into that, I just want to finish this point. You have to impress employers. And this is not just for digital marketing, guys. I did the same thing when I worked in film. I showed up, I was excited, I was ready to work for free, or I'd say, hey, look, I made these. When I got my first video editing job, I was in high school. And what did I do? I worked at a professional video production house, and I showed up with my little videos I'd made in high school. And this is before digital. This is all analog stuff. And the guy looked at me, and he could see I'm young, I'm hungry, and I had done these little videos. I had a portfolio. Wasn't great, but it was enough for him to go, okay, I can work with this. I can work with this kid and pay me. I was making like $100 a day at age 17 in the 90s. That was really good. But that's how it is in almost any other field. Learn the skills, generate some experience. And so let's walk you through the entire process and how she was actually hired out of hundreds of other candidates. Hey, Seth. So this is in July. My heart is racing. The company I recently interviewed with 2 days ago would like me to come in and meet the team and show them what I know. I'm guessing it'll be campaign setup, keyword research, ad copy, software tools like Moz, Ahrefs. Any advice about how to go about this? She didn't really need my advice because she learned it. She knew it already. If I'm hired for this position, it's going to be 30 accounts, and they'll be between $1,000 and $15,000 a month in ad spend. I'm brainstorming a plan. She was so excited. Now, how did she get the interview in the first place? She did what I explained, which is you put together a resume based on the experience you generated in a very short period of time. And any article you read on how to get a job with no experience is going to say almost the same thing. It's just much more general. I show people how to actually do it step by step. If you wanted to work in software development, you would learn to code and put together some kind of software, some type of an app. You would show them you've done something. If you want to work in I already used the film example, but pretty much any field, even if it was in accounting, you wanted to get into accounting, and you would do some bookkeeping for somebody. Ernst & Young just got rid of their degree requirement a few years ago. It's a huge accounting firm in England because they say a degree does not have any prediction of success. So I'm just giving you the general strategy and approach. If you want a job and you don't have experience, get some experience, a little bit, a portfolio, something that demonstrates you know how to do the job. And that is how people get into the field. That is the craziest thing to me is I get people coming to me with marketing degrees who've been pounding the pavement sometimes for years. They cannot get an entry-level job because they studied theory in college. They didn't do one project that demonstrates they know what the heck they're doing. So they really have no experience. When my students come in, they really don't have experience, but it looks like they do because they've done these assignments. So here's the rest of the message, which I think is so great. Hello, Seth. I want to thank you so much for your course. I've been hired by a small company in Florida that has been in business for over 15 years. They hired me as an SEO and social specialist. They're giving me a $1,500 bonus to start and help with moving, etc. I almost lost this opportunity because I did not feel ready. I was super nervous. Now, you may have seen this in one of my previous videos. It's fantastic. So then I asked her let's get into the details of what happened. The owner and operations manager stated during my first day of a work meeting that they were so impressed with me during the interview, and they loved my PPC and SEO example, which is what I teach in the course. It is a project showing you know what to do. The operations manager said they have interviewed quite a few people and crossed out hundreds of applications in 3 months. That shows you how these types of things stand out, because everyone else is applying with the same crap they learned in school. They're not just showing the person hiring, I can do the job. So the first interview was over the phone. They asked me 4 simple questions that anyone in your program can enter. The second interview was in person. It was almost 3 hours long. They had me create and set up a basic campaign, ad groups, keywords for one of the business sites. On the SEO side, I was given a link to a website where I had to create a list of goals on how to increase organic rankings for terms in New Jersey and surrounding states. Lastly, a link to landing page where I had to list changes I would make to optimize for more leads. I presented all this in the conference room. The owner is big on seeing the work done, not asking many questions. He feels people, this is really great too, people can memorize BS interview question answers. So he wanted to see how she actually performs and how does she have a handle on these skills. She used my course. She used a friend's Google Ads account. Maybe a friend owned a small business, and she practiced for a couple months. That's it. And she worked on client accounts. As I say, as soon as even if it's your friend or your mother or your father's AdWords account, they're a client. And that's what you do. She walked into the room and showed that she knows how to do the job, even with very limited experience. And what did the job posting say? 2 years of experience implementing on-site and off-site SEO techniques and methods. 2+ years of experience. I love it. She didn't have that. She was honest about it, and she got hired. And this is her entry-level position. After 6 months or a year at this place, she will have enough hands-on experience to then leverage up to the next job. So, point of this, guys, is that I wanted to just clarify all of this for you, this whole experience, no experience, because when I'm on LinkedIn, I still see people complaining about this, which, you know me, I'm not a big advocate of pointless complaining. People say, why does it say I need 5 years experience for an entry-level job? That's stupid. It is stupid, but you don't get results by complaining about it on LinkedIn. You have to understand how to win. And you have to understand that when someone says they want 5 years experience, it's not a law. It's not set in stone. It's kind of like a wish in most cases. And you can show up showing your own experience, the experience that you've generated, communicating to them that you do know what you're doing, and bypass all these arbitrary years of experience required. Because literally it says 2 years of experience. Why would they hire somebody? Literally, if this is set in stone, if this is a law, like people relate to this crap like it's a law. Like literally, you have to be 18 years of age to vote in the US. You have to be 21 years of age to legally buy alcohol in the US. And if you are younger than 21 and you buy alcohol, that is breaking the law technically. Underage drinking, it's a big issue. It's not how it works with job postings. It's not like they throw up someone at the agency and he throws up 2+ years of experience, and then you walk in and they do this like vetted background check where they're like, well, you really have 2+ years experience, and oh, you only have 1.75 years experience. I'm sorry, you're not qualified. It's not how it works, guys. And this is never communicated to you in school. And probably the first time you've ever heard this is in one of my videos, because even your parents and your teachers and other people are like, oh yeah, you have to have all the experience. It's not how it works. People who are hiring in digital marketing specifically, and guys, I'm telling you, it's this way in other fields too. If you don't want to work in digital marketing, finding good people is not easy. It's not. There's a lot of duds. So this is one of the most interesting things here. They've interviewed quite a few people and crossed out hundreds of applications. What did I tell you guys? What have I told you in every single one of my walkthrough videos? When you see there's 300 applicants for a position, pop the champagne, celebrate. That means you have a chance to be just like Tiffany and stand out with what you can offer the company. So how long have I been talking? Almost 10 minutes. All right. I didn't want to make this one of my super long videos. I hope this inspires you guys. I hope this gives you a sense of things. Like really, what you really need to do if you're in my course is, from what she said, is you have to listen to what I teach. You have to get these skills. Get Get pumped. You have to, and when you're in the course, most people who are successful find they naturally are engaged with the material. Hopefully you're not like in the course, like, oh, I hate digital marketing. And some people, when they start to see what digital marketing is, they say, hey, I don't think this is for me. Most of you guys, you're into it. You see how exciting it is as a field and as a skill set. Do the assignments, do the spreadsheets, get your hands on accounts, learn, read, take what you've learned from me in the foundations and learn as much as you can and get nerdy about it. So that when you get to a point, you should relate to every job like you're ready to be like Tiffany and in that conference room. That's how it was for me, guys. Like what she described to me, it wasn't as they didn't have me set up a campaign, but I did have like a 3-hour interview in my first agency job where I just geeked out. And I talked about the campaigns. I talked about the SEO. I talked about digital marketing. And they asked me questions and they could see by my responses. You can tell in an interview too. That's really the thing, guys, for an interview. What they're looking for, they're not looking for, I give you some sample interview questions, ways to ask. It's not so much what you say, because if you say it and you don't own it or believe it, it's not powerful. If you're like, oh yes, I love to set up campaigns so that they are fully optimized. They can hear it in the tone of your voice. They can hear it in how your energy. Do you feel like you know what you're talking about? I don't mean that you've got 10 years of experience. I don't mean that you have to have some kind of fake confidence, but even if you've only worked on one account, if you're just like, oh yeah, I know this is how you got to set up the campaign. And these are some of the problems I found when I set up my first account. Oh my God, the match type was all wrong. And the scheduling was screwed up. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for the nuts and bolts stuff that she was able to demonstrate and the fact that she was able to own it. And you guys, you can all do that from the course. You can't control which company hires you or what client hires you, but you can control the amount of time you dedicate to learning this stuff and mastering it in your own, when you're sitting at your computer, absorbing this information. You can do that. And that's it. Prepare for every job interview. Like, this is your chance to shine. Like I say in my free course, it's same thing if you're trying out for a sports team and you weren't, they don't think you're the best candidate. You're in a position where you need to impress people. You impress people with your skills. And I just get so excited, guys. I just think there's so many avenues for this that didn't exist. I was just talking with someone about life in the 90s. I mean, life was pretty good. We didn't have a lot of the problems we have now. But there was no internet. There was no way to learn skills online. There was no way to learn how to code or learn digital marketing. Digital marketing didn't even exist. You guys, you can learn like anything on the internet and you can get good at it. You could, if you wanted to do coding, you could just become a coding geek and put together some apps. And then when you apply for a job, it's like, they're not going to ask you, where did you go to college? They're going to be like, have you made any programs? Yeah, I made these 3 programs here. Oh my God, these are great. That's what you can do. And you can do that in digital marketing. And as I've said in my walkthrough videos, again, remember, there's a low bar because there are not that many people that know how to do this, which is why I also still think it's better than coding, because it's not as analytical, it's not as sophisticated, and there's less competition. There really is, guys. So anyway, I think I went over, let me see. I think I went over 5 more minutes. Let me check. Oh, 4 minutes. Okay. Anyway, guys, that is how you get a job with no experience. You have to make your own experience, present yourself in a compelling way to the people hiring, and that in and of itself is enough. I'm telling you, like, I've heard everyone I know in like all these different fields, even people that, obviously didn't have degrees, say, how did you get your first job? And it's very similar stories. There was something the person did to impress the hiring manager, to stand out, to compensate, or to communicate that even though they didn't have 5 years experience, they were of so much value and they were bringing so much to the table by putting together their own project or experience. It's so simple. I cannot understand why in 16 years of school, they don't even spend a class on this. It just blows my mind. So please, comment below, ask me any questions that you have. I hope this has been inspiring. I hope this has been helpful. Let me know, and I will see you in the next video.